Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Famous Fridays. Chi in the building. Welcome, brother.
Hey. Good to be here. If there's anyone to drag me out on a Friday night, an old man such as myself, it has to be you. Your show is such a vibe, by the way. I was listening to it on the way in.
Thank you.
And man, I'm like, we need more of this.
Thank you.
This is that goodness. This makes me forget about this Lusaka summer heat. Mm-hmm. Yeah? Honestly, I had other things on my mind. Simply listening to you navigate through the last couple of hours that you've been on air. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes,
You're welcome. I brought out Pastor Gladys last Friday. The other Friday, I mean.
Powerful show.
Last Friday of September, I brought out Pastor Gladys, and she said the same thing. Only person to take me out on a Friday night, late this night, is you.
Yes.
You said the same thing.
Because, look, I mean, not even Neo could get me out on a Friday. But somehow you managed. As Neo's Zambian brother, we'll call you Nayo.
Yeah.
Yes. You managed to do it.
Today is Friday the 13th. We're going to get into that in a moment.
Okay.
But as per tradition, how we start the show is with your party starter. What is Chi's party starter?
Oh, you see, already you put me on the spot when you were like, hey, the ladies. I'm like, whoa, hold on. No, but like, my party starter track does have to do with the ladies. It is my guilty pleasure track. I do admit it may shock a number of people. May not shock some other people. But this is my party starter guilty pleasure. These are my T's and C's and disclaimer before you play this, okay? This is not like what I'm playing around my kids on the way to a business meeting.
No.
Maybe on the way to a business meeting. But like, this is not what I'm playing in the business meeting. It's certainly not my ringtone. I do not
What song
the
is
message
this?
in this song.
What song is this?
It has to be Vibes Cartel Fever, guys.
What?
And I pray, for the sake of our Christian nation and your career in mind, that you are playing the clean version.
No, we're not doing that. It's Friday the 13th.
The clean version.
Here's Chi's party starter, Vibes Cartel Fever. Welcome to Famous Friday, you know? Speaking about problems, man, how's life kicking your butt?
Hey, as we're aging, it finds a new angle. I'm like, I thought we read this attack.
No.
But you know what? I'm loving it, man, because it's also like with every new attack, you're like, oh, I didn't know I could defend that.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, man. Right now, I'm loving life.
Yeah.
Straight up. Right now, I'm loving life because even the challenges, I'm like, okay, let's see what this reward brings out. Like, I'm more focused on the reward than the challenges.
Yeah.
I think challenges are very, very necessary, and even. I heard a saying today. I'm listening to a lot of podcasts these days, and this person, he was even talking about strong relationships. And you know, a lot of the things that these podcasts say, especially with the self-help ones, a lot of people are like, oh, it's so obvious. But the truth is, genius ideas are the most obvious ones, right? Yeah, it's the stuff that is like, why didn't I think of that? So I believe even influential sayings or influential advice, the stuff that will hit you is like, duh.
Yeah.
It's something you've heard before or you've known better, and then you just need to unpackage it. So one of those things was like, tough times build good relationships.
True.
Not good times.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, any type of relationship, working relationship, family relationships, it's the tough times that build a relationship, you know, loving relationships. So even with that, I'm like, yo, if tough times build things that are meant to last, so I try to look at that from every challenge. Like, if it's going to be tough to achieve what I need to achieve, then I am almost guaranteed that whatever it is going to last.
Yeah. Speaking about tough times building stronger relationships, I guess that's how the world also just eliminates the dead weight.
Yes.
The unnecessary baggage.
Because you have people straight up, it's Friday night, so I'm going to quote Drake, because I know you mentioned we're going to discuss his album.
Yeah. He's
straight up, I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah.
You got a lot of people like that in life. They'll be there for the good times and not a long time.
Yeah.
So even those people, you must realize are there for the season. You know, even the Bible, Ecclesiastics, I mean, right now we've been complaining about how hot it is. We are the same creatures who are like, I can't believe June is Juning. It's so cold.
Now it's October is October.
Yeah, so we're the same guys. I'm like, but if I met you in July, you were asking me about where to buy coats, and now I meet you in this month and you're asking me where
get vests.
Yeah, get vests. So it's like that in life as well. You got to appreciate that even as seasons change, people's demands also change. So even if you're going through a good phase and it changes, the people around you's demands are also allowed to change, are expected to change.
Yeah.
But then there's those that don't, see? And then those are the socks that you wear in winter, in summer, in autumn. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's basically it, man. So you got to find that pair of socks that works for you, man, throughout the year, not just in the summer. And then you ditch it in the winter, or it ditches you in the winter. And in springtime, it's like, nah, I'm here for autumn.
Found the socks?
Have I found the socks?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah?
Hell yeah.
How much have you gotten rid of?
A lot.
A lot?
Yeah, a lot.
How does it feel?
Good. That's why I'm saying I'm loving life right now, because it's like you realize people are there for seasons, and incidences are there for seasons, and events are there for seasons, victories are there for seasons, losses are there for seasons. So yeah, that's I'm enjoying every season, man.
Yeah.
So to get back to your original question, how's life kicking my ass? Love it.
Nice. A lot of people have been seeing you popping off recently on social media. Cheese posting that, Cheese posting this. You were not doing a lot of that. No. And I'll tell you, even throughout my entire broadcasting career so far. Yeah. Right. I'm saying so far because we're gonna let a few cats out of the bag as the show goes on. But yeah, I mean, I messed around a bit with it, and funny enough, I'll say it as it is. Wheeler, I mean, he's not gonna be mad at me for saying this, but Slap D the other year was like, "Chi, you really don't realize you not being consistent in social media is like mess up. Like, people would like to hear from you. People would want." And I told him straight up, and this is what I tell everybody. I'm like, I had a bit of an issue, maybe I still do, when it comes to exposing yourself as a public figure. Yeah. I love this industry. I love the game. I love what it gives you. I love what I can give it. But I also felt like I needed to clearly establish what is my private life and what is my quote-unquote what you can share. Persona. Yeah. Because you having worked with me, and anyone who works with me knows that I am the same. Yeah. What you see is what you get. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like, okay, even if I did do social media as a quote-unquote public figure, I run the risk of still overexposing myself. Okay, I don't mind doing that from traditional media platforms. Yeah, that's why I think I've got the greatest job in the world, because I'm allowed to be me. So social media, I just thought would expose me in ways that I wasn't comfortable with, but I get it now. Yeah. Okay. Is that why we're seeing a lot of you now? Yeah. I guess we're going to be seeing more. You'll be seeing more. That's why I don't even want to call it a lot. You will be seeing more, but the more that you'll be seeing must be with a purpose. Okay. Right now, I think I'm still posting more of the personal than the actual public persona stuff. So there is a team I'm working with and putting together stuff with that will now put out more deliberate content for what I would want people to consume about what I'm doing, who I am. Yeah. So now I still think I'm in the personal space still, and just putting stuff out there, just like, hey, what's up? You know, just getting a feel for it, you know. Yeah, because I also would have to appreciate it. Speaking about you and team putting stuff together, are we going to hear Chi on radio soon? Never say never. Never say never. As I said, I'm just excited about the future, and I'm living my life season by season, and I really just want to taste it all and experience it all. So I can't say yes or no. Do you miss it? I know you ask that more for the public than for yourself. Because radio, anybody who's been in radio, it's a bug. Yeah. It is a drug. We have had an ambassador come back and pick up the mic immediately. Exactly. He's like, just drop me off before I even go to State House. Ne? I want the microphone. Bring the mic. So look, it's an industry that calls you. Okay, it's an industry that calls you. I know with social media, like, everybody is a broadcaster now. But I'm talking about more the traditional broadcasters. Yeah, I mean, if you're on the phone, you're a broadcaster. Ne? It's like, no, as long as I can go live, I'm a broadcaster. But I'm talking about the people who it actually calls as a proper career. You know what I'm saying? Where you study the game.
You get papers in the game.
You understand the science of it.
You understand the science of the game. You appreciate all those things. But for real, yes, radio will always be in your blood. So you do miss it. You absolutely miss it. But there's other things that have to happen in the game as well.
Yeah.
And to make sure that if you really respect radio as a broadcasting platform, you also want to make it relevant to the times. You want to take steps back, study the game, and don't just be on radio for the sake of being on radio.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't want to just be on radio just for the sake of being on radio. You want to make sure that you are putting something that the people would appreciate. It's Friday the 13th, so ghosts are gonna come out. So here's the first one.
Yeah. He just go ahead. He's gonna start. I was gonna lead him into it, but hey, go for it. First ghost out.
They were like, we should have done this.
First ghost out. Let's go.
I mean, but this is the same thing I'm talking about. There's a lot of realness that's missing in the game. Okay? And there's a lot of purpose, I feel, that's missing in the game. As I've said, we're in this era where people can pick up a phone and instantly you are a broadcaster. Okay. So, and I love that about the game. I love that about technology. I love that about the season we're in. But the fact is this. You need to be able to separate the wheat from the chaff. So I'm not complaining about people that get into instant broadcasting. And what I mean by instant broadcasting is literally because your phone is on, a couple of people are excited that you're live. Because the crazy thing is, you've seen these live videos, right?
Yeah.
Where someone goes live, and for the first 10 minutes, we're watching them like brush their teeth.
Yeah.
For the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's booming, right?
Yes.
Things are coming up, and then, oh my gosh, it's you! Oh, I love you! Oh my gosh!
Yes.
Oh yeah, I love the way you brush your teeth. Like, you literally can go there unprepared with no content.
What does that say about us, the consumers?
Well, you see, that's the thing, though. That's the thing, and that's why it's a whole psychological conversation, because you have this person brushing their teeth. They're basically showing you very clearly they do not care that you are there as the audience. They're like, I'm gonna do my thing, I'm gonna speak to you when I'm ready. Okay. And then they get there, and even the conversations, it's like broken up. So they'll say something controversial or exciting.
Yes.
They'll spill the tea. Then after that, they'll even go back, make some juice, get back on the mic. You know, like,
so that needs to be fixed. So that needs to be fixed?
I think, yes. I think it does.
How do we fix that?
Okay, because I'm from an era, oh my gosh, you hit 40 and you start using sentences like that.
Yeah, because
I'm from an era.
Because that's what the kids will say. They say, like, but you're young, you're old, bruh.
Yeah, but I mean, like, why are we fascinated with people brushing their teeth?
Radio, that's what the kids want now.
They want to watch people brush their teeth?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
Man, there's money out there. I brought my toothbrush. You do know that.
We can brush our teeth.
Earlier. We can brush our teeth.
We'll do that. We'll do that in a moment. so first ghost out.
First ghost out, but it's a two-way conversation, because it's not. I think that's all they're left with.
Brushing teeth.
Point is people who are brushing their teeth, or wearing half outfits, almost wearing clothes.
So that's all we're left with.
That's all we're left with. So I'm not blaming the consumers. They don't know any better.
So who are we blaming?
I'm blaming people like us, Chuma. People who know the game better, but we have not become students again.
I have never brought anybody here to brush their teeth. You will be the first one.
Yeah, I mean, we got to learn first what's so fascinating about
brushing teeth.
These people loving to watch people brush their teeth.
Okay.
So in doing that, we have to now accept to say it's student season. We need to get back to school.
So do we think are we behaving like we know better?
Yes, a lot of us do. Absolutely, a lot of us do. In the game, a lot of us do. And as much as in the creative industry, we'll go and be like, oh, these corporates we pitch to, because obviously it's about communicating brands, and that's how we make our money and stuff. But and you're like, oh man, I can't believe these guys are so old school. They don't. Are you
hearing that thing in the background? That's Jason. It's Friday the 13th.
I'm letting out some serious ghosts right now.
Let's go. This is my first ghost I want you to talk about. All right, since we're on radio.
Yes.
Hot FM gives you a call.
Right.
We want you back. Would you go?
No, well, I mean, as I've said, look, my answer
simple
is
yes or no.
What
Chi?
season would
simple
I be
yes or
walking
no?
into?
Chi? Simple yes or no?
I don't know, because what season would I be walking into? Does it complement the season I'm in? Does the season they're in for them to make such a phone call?
Mm-hmm.
Does it complement the season I'm in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What happened then?
They moved in a different direction. Seasons changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought you were the biggest show. I would never cancel that.
Well, their direction changed, so maybe they had another bigger show to make. I can't make that decision on my own.
What do you? So is from Chi?
Right.
They were going with a different direction.
Yes.
Okay.
For them to make that decision, it meant that it was time for a different season for both of us. So you respect that. You say that what I have done, my season is done, and you move on. I also had other things to move on to. And funny enough, I had.
Were you ready to move on?
Yeah, I was about to say that, because when you get transitions like that, and that's where I'm saying you got to appreciate seasons for what they are. I had already occupied a bigger office space for one of my personal companies. I'd already upscaled the team.
For Yip Yap, right?
Yes, I'd already upscaled the team. I'd already taken on this bigger property. I'd invested in more equipment. So it was almost like, the universe now saying, okay, now jump in. You've put on the swim shorts. You check the water temperature with your toe.
Yeah.
You put on your sunscreen.
Yeah.
Now jump in, and it gives you a bit of a push. So I didn't mind it.
No bad blood there.
No bad blood.
Okay, cool.
No bad blood.
You're back in.
At least not on my end. No bad blood.
Not on your end.
No.
Okay. We hope there's no bad blood.
Yeah, I mean, I respect people's seasons, man. If there's a season of bad blood, then more power to them.
Wow. Okay. Back in the studio. You've been in here before.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
You've been in here before.
Feels like coming home.
Yeah.
Yes.
You had how long? A year here?
I had a year here. My contract was for a year as well. It was under the same company you mentioned, Yip Yap Media. Mm-hmm. Yes. So obviously after the passing of the late great Earl Hickey, the station did go through some restructuring and some rebranding as well, as you can see. Yeah. That's when it went from Radio Phoenix to Phoenix FM.
I don't think people know that.
It is officially Phoenix FM.
I'm not sure if it's our job as Phoenix to broadcast this to be loud enough.
This is the Phoenix FM.
It's Phoenix era. FM. It's not Radio Phoenix anymore. Because I get a lot of people still say, "Are you working for Radio Phoenix?" I'm like, "No, I work for Phoenix FM." Yeah. So maybe we're not doing a good enough job as Phoenix FM.
Then you know what you do when they ask you that? You must ask them for their cell-tel number.
I'll remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. So what happened here?
Yeah. So I got a call from a bank actually, and this person who is also a good friend of mine, but well within the rankings of directorship, actually said, "Okay, so how much to get you back on?"
Let's just give her props, man. She's dope, man.
Just straight up said, "How much to get you back on radio?"
Yeah.
Like, what you got? So, and she was asking the same thing: which platforms would you be comfortable on? So I said, "Hold up. I know Phoenix is in this transitional stage. I'd already spoken to some of the management through the business I was doing through Yip Yap, the advertising agency that I run and own, and I was like, I like the rapport, and I can see a gap in the market, and I understand what they're trying to do, the season they're in, the niche they're trying to ride on." So with that, I then approached Mr. Muzaza, also late.
May his soul rest in peace.
May his soul rest in peace. One of the coolest bosses you could have in terms of just strategy, aura, the mind, his integrity. Wow.
Yeah.
I've had bosses that teach you how to treat people. I've had bosses that teach you how not to treat people, figure out which is which.
Yeah.
So may his soul rest in peace. Mr. Muzaza would really be missed from Phoenix FM. So he allowed me to have a very open and honest conversation with him. And in this conversation, we talked obviously about remuneration. And I said, look, I can come in as my company. This would be the arrangement, and give me a time. Everyone assumed that, because she's back on air, he's going to do breakfast. So I also needed to challenge myself, because that's why I'm saying, like, new seasons need to be new seasons.
Yeah.
You gotta shed off the stuff that even you were too comfortable with.
Yeah.
It's your favorite coat, but it's summer, damn it.
Yeah.
Find a t-shirt to fall in love with.
Exactly.
Okay, so that was me saying like breakfast is my coat. Now it's summer, and I literally said if I'm going to do a service for this new institution that's trusting my expertise and welcoming me in with open arms, I was always loved the Phoenix family for that. Then let me also offer something, and I said, can you give me a time that's quote unquote not making money traditionally in our industry? Advertisers, presenters, marketers all believe we only need to sell time until 18 hours. Until 6 hours. Yeah, until 6 p.m. And then after that, whatever happens. You don't need quality shows like this in the evening. We don't need to pay attention to stuff like that. But we do, okay?
Every time is prime time.
Every time is prime time. It's 24 hours of excellence.
Exactly.
So I said, give me a time that's traditionally not making money, 18 to 21, tonight live. And we managed to get a decent amount of revenue in the millions. I'll say what it is. For Phoenix FM in that year.
Big shout out to Matinto. Do you know what she's up to?
I need to check up on her, actually.
Yeah, we cannot let that one go.
No, that has been a day one.
Let me just remind folks who Matinta is. Remember that Zanaco red billboard? Yeah. That's Matinta.
That's marketing genius.
That's what we're talking about.
Sister of notes.
We should not let that one go.
Yes.
We need that brain
so those
in the game.
Those are some of the socks I wear for life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so Phoenix was that. And then a couple of years back, you came to one of my shows for an interview. Morning.
Yes.
At Power. Big shout out to Kenny T.
Yes.
Power FM breakfast, Sunny Side Up breakfast.
Absolutely.
We had a great chat. But then the chat we had after the show was about a news channel.
Yes.
And you said, dude, I need help to do this.
Right.
I thought you were joking.
No. I I don't know if I'm constantly serious or constantly joking, but there's a consistency there because it's like the same way my girlfriend in university was like, I've never seen you drunk. I was a kid in university, so I don't know whether I constantly acted like a drunk guy or I am constantly acting like a sober guy even when I'm drunk. But anyway, it's kind of the same thing with work, you see. So work needs to be fun.
Yeah.
So some of the things I say and some of the things I push for seem outrageous, and they may think that they may be just part of the hilarious part of the conversation, but I am dead serious about some of the more hilarious things people receive as hilarious things.
So people, I don't know if a lot of people know, but Spring was your brain.
Yes.
How long did you cook that for?
With media, and that's why I say it has to be a calling, because I always believe you build and build and build and build an idea. So there's no specific one day that I can be like, yo, it started here. Pen to paper, yes, you can pinpoint a date, but there's always stuff cooking. Even the stuff that I'm busy with now. I was telling this to one of the clients, and I said I had to go back to the vault for this. Because I've got a vault of things that I need to execute. That's one of the reasons I'm not going to die anytime soon.
Yeah.
I need to go to the grave tired, right? So I do have a vault that fortunately I managed to bring up and collect and curate. But now when it comes to manifesting those things in the vault, you also need to push that out. So Spring was one of those things, which was the first 24-hour news channel in the region outside of South Africa.
Yeah. Wow.
No, thanks to you as well.
That's all I can say. Wow. I will big up you. Some of the most favorite people to work with. You and Alex. Y'all were a bad. I wish I could use that word. Y'all were a bad tag team.
Yeah. But
then the big question everybody's asking, what happened to Spring, dog?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, some of my partners were just not honest from the jump, okay? Some of my partners were just not honest from the jump about their intentions, about why they also were interested in a project like this, which I had to then manifest and sweat for and sacrifice for. And then jealousy as well. I mean, it always seems like a cop-out answer, and it's like, people are just jealous of me. No, but I mean, I'm talking about jealousy from an internal part. So where you let snakes in, and you expect not to be bitten. And in turn, you're like, is this just a thing for me? But reputation is reputation. So if people are like, yo, these people are snakes, or this person's a snake, and I can't be surprised when they get bitten. You know what I'm saying? But a snake also camouflages itself well. So until you're bitten, only then it's like, oh, you didn't know that field was full of snakes?
Yeah.
You didn't know you were in a snake field? So it's that kind of thing. But the concept is still one that needs to be satisfied. We got amazing response from the public. We really did.
Yeah.
And internally, it was just partnering with the wrong people. That's it.
Dude, you were making deals with the Russians.
Yes,
and that's going to freak people out. But
you won't believe I had some partners, quote unquote family members or whatever, who literally would say the most dumb stuff, like, you can't have a CEO on TV. And I'm like, in this day and age, which era are you from? You know what I'm saying? It's like telling Combat MTN, hey, don't appear on social media. You're the MTN. People don't like that. I'm like, which era are you from?
Yeah.
You know, because real business, I mean, like, if you are in the media especially, you are the brand. Elon Musk, it's like telling Elon Musk, sit down. It's like, you know, it's like telling Oprah, sit down, because you're now a CEO. So, you know, like, literally it was things that petty. Literally things that petty where someone can see nothing wrong, but they would like try and look for problems. So it even became a bad work environment even for me. So and it became quite depressing to be living your dream and you're being fought internally. You know?
So what we're watching is amazing stuff, but in the back you're dealing with this.
Yes, what we're watching is amazing stuff, and as you said it's amazing stuff, and you're hearing that, and the moment you get in the office, you get a call and saying your stuff is crap from your quote-unquote team member. So I'm like, is the problem the content, or is the problem your relationship with me? And if the problem is your relationship with me, maybe we should not be in a business relationship, in a working relationship.
Yeah.
On the other end, there's just sheer dishonesty as well. It was just such a pit of vipers, honestly. I'm so grateful that God pulled me out of that pit of vipers. It was just snakes and thieves and con artists. So yeah, that's that. But you need to see that side of the game. You have to see that side of the game.
I was gonna say
you must see that side of the game.
I was gonna say we're gonna rewind. So we'll start with spring. What did that project teach you? What did you learn?
So much. It taught me about my own potential. It taught me about how to identify real ones, true people.
Yeah.
You know, all season sucks.
Yeah.
It and as usual, because every season it also showed me the true colors of certain individuals, but it really showed me most of all potential. And the reason I really took up that project was to disseminate what I know. I talked earlier about how people are consuming content that it really doesn't offer them anything apart from scandal, nudity, negativity.
Yeah.
Right, with society really thriving off that. So it's a wonder, and that's where even conversations like women's liberation is so confused.
Yeah.
So they don't know. 1 minute you're like, I'm an independent woman, that's why I can show my body because I own my own body and I make my own money.
Yeah.
But in the next video you're like, if your man ain't paying your bills, I'm like, yo, are you the same person? So it just shows you how many voices are in your head.
Yeah.
The next day you're like Team Jesus. So how many voices are in your head? And
what are you, independent or you're selling?
Yeah, and these people are like all over platforms. So people are consuming this and they think it's normal, and they just have not had the fundamental upbringing or conversations to even say, wait a minute, but fundamentally, because if you bring it to a fundamental reason, it's garbage. It's garbage. But so that now was some of the inspiration for a project like Spring. I was now given a chance to recruit what was on average a very young team, and because it was a whole new concept, to deal with people who were allowed to say, we will trust you enough to work with you, not for you, to work with you on what your vision is. It hasn't been done before, but that was my chance then to teach
Yeah.
From what I know.
It was a lot of firsts.
There was a lot of
with
firsts.
That team.
There was a lot of firsts with that team. And because it was also a first for me, because that project had never been done and still hasn't been done, I also was more appreciative of how to deal with a student of the game. Yeah.
So that's what you learned from Spring.
That's what I learned.
You said Phoenix taught you
how to treat people.
Yeah. What did Hot teach you?
Hot taught me a lot. It really did teach me a lot. And yeah, I mean, I must be very grateful to Hot FM because
I wanted to say big shout out to Oscar because he trusted you.
Yes, I would say
he gave you a breakfast show.
He did, and I thought
you were from a bank, right?
It was absolutely bananas to do that.
Yeah.
Yes, because I was at a bank, working for a bank at the time, fresh out of my law studies, new in the country. I was with Bank ABC, which, if you remember, was just across the road on Canada Road. So one of my friends was like, man, this job, because I loved the legal profession more than counting other people's money. So he was like, look, it looks like your soul is being eaten away. You know, I'd go in there at 6, and every day was like 21 hours, even though you knock off at 17 on paper. And he's like, man, you need to do something with yourself. So I was like, you know, let me get an evening show. Okay, well, you don't get in the bank at 6, but you're in there at 8 until about 19, all right? Monday to Friday. And I was like, you know what? If I could do an evening show, that would really, like, lift my spirits and get me back into something I love, because I was also doing radio at Voice of Wits. Yeah, I was also doing radio at Voice of Wits when I was in law school. So that really led me to say, okay, I'm gonna walk across the road. And at the time, QFM was number 1. Yeah. And their lifts weren't working. So I walked up those 12 stories during my bank lunch break, which was little to no time, and no one was at reception. So I went downstairs and I had a meal at, was it African Pot? What was it called? Was it African Pot? Something like that. And as I had a meal, I had one of my best friends, Shabwe Piri, there. And he was like, oh, so did you go to Q? I'm like, yeah, I'm just from there right now. And there was no one there. I guess they're out to lunch. So let me introduce you to someone. He goes, this is Kalumba. I said, okay, sharp. And Kalumba's like...
K-Smash. Big shout out to Smash.
Yes. Then Kalumba goes, why would you want to join QFM? I said, because they're number 1. And I should join the best. Then he says, well... can you make someone the best? Are you good enough to make someone the best, or you just want to join the best? I said, so I took that as a challenge, young, full of life, You're like, yeah, help. Can I make someone number 1?
Of course.
Yes, I triple your worth. Put me anywhere on God's green earth, I triple your worth. So now he's like, great, then go to the people who are not number 1. And at the time, that was Hot FM. So I was like, cool. I got in there, Tony the Roller Coaster, as well as Peter Verdowski, DJ Phil, Philly Phil, were the ones recording me. And I got on the mic, did my audition, and walked out, and they were like staring at each other. And the first thing that came out of Tony's mouth was, well, he ain't taking my job. He's definitely taking someone's job. It ain't me.
Wow.
I would never forget that.
Wow. So what did Hot teach you?
Hot really taught me to put structure to your dream. Yeah. Okay, to put purpose to your dream. So a lot of the things, like even the Kawalala party, I have the notebook. I wrote the concept in with a pencil to now explain why this concept must come on Zambian radio, why we must introduce satire, why we must change the way breakfast shows are done. I've got those scribbles on paper. Yeah. In pencil know-how. Okay? So it really taught me that once you put some of these ideas of yours on paper and you put structure to them, then there's no excuse to not execute them. Exactly. Because if they stay in your head, trust you me, Chuma.
They're all over the place.
Yo, if there's one, they're all over the place, and then 2, you have no accountability to them. Do you know what it's like to look at a to-do list that you haven't achieved?
Yes. That's painful.
It's painful, fam. It's painful. That's why we don't even want to-do lists, because we're like, painful. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I have to do it.
I have to do that. That's why you don't want to stick up with gym routine.
Because you're like, I will have to do that.
I will have to see that. You see what I'm saying? So even when you have ideas that you want to push, or missions in life, or directions you want to take, the moment you put it on paper, you are solidifying your commitment to that That's part of the whole manifestation.
Yeah.
So Hot FM taught me a lot about that, like putting it down. By the time we were working together, and by the way, for me it was a dream to have worked with you, and that's one of the things I'm so grateful for. I've always dreamed with working with Lucci. It happened with Phoenix. I always dreamed of working with you, seeing you on Channel O as I was growing up and getting in the game. I'm like, man, one day I've got to work with this guy, got to work with this Chuma Piri, the myth, the legend. You know what I'm saying? So
nice,
it's taught me that if you put it on paper, you can work with a Chuma Piri. You can start a first in the whole region, in your continent.
Yeah. Nice
you
one,
put
buddy.
it on paper, you are manifesting it.
Nice. So, we haven't heard the Kawalala Party in a minute.
I feel like we've seen their work.
We see. I don't think we're feeling it as like we should. You know.
I feel like we've seen their work.
I needed to bring Hope in here just for the Kawalala Party analysis.
Hope and I mean, we still talk like a lot. So we are like, some of the things that are appearing in the news these days is like they're outdoing the Kawalala Party. They're like doing our work for us.
We're starting with that, dude. Let's start with that.
Oh man. Oh man.
Kawalala Party analysis.
Yes,
the state of the nation.
The state of the nation.
Everything is expensive, but we can buy 3,000 kwacha worth of tickets.
Oh yeah, but
sold out.
Funny enough, I was reading a Bloomberg article. So right now, the official loan from the IMF and the debt restructure. Of course, we heard about it in June. That was a very big headline. But it's pretty much ready to manifest itself now. Mm-hmm. So that is actually a Bloomberg headline. Let me even see if I have a reference to it. But it has said that Zambian bonds now have become more valuable. They've reached an all-time high, which means people have confidence in issuing bonds or buying bonds from the government, knowing that their money will come back. All right. So where you're buying bonds and investing in treasuries, it's at an all-time high, which is fantastic because I think we still need to teach people how to buy bonds even when it comes to retirement. And it would have been a good conversation to have with the NAPSA, early release of pension.
Yeah.
And then telling people investment options like stocks and bonds. Because, put $1 million in there and sit.
But now you're talking to Vamaeva Ketstechi, who sells tomatoes. But Tateva Kendani, he's a mechanic. Yeah. He's a bush mechanic.
Okay, but with NAPSA, obviously, we're assuming you are not necessarily white collar, but you can be blue collar worker, but you do at least adhere to a certain literacy level.
But how do you explain that to the market lady?
You see, well, for bonds and treasuries, it's not really a target market for the market lady.
Then, so now they're asking, so what was this whole debt restructuring? How does it affect me?
Yes.
I'm selling tomatoes. How am I benefiting?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we're in the business of information, Chuma, so we must make it accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
We must make it accessible to everybody. So the very important thing is to identify the key sectors that an initiative like this impacts immediately. With a trickle-down effect, obviously, it affects everybody everywhere. Yeah. But you must identify the key sectors that it affects immediately and then start sort of working the information dissemination through those silos. All right? So, for example, I know a lot of it will have to do with mining sector. Okay? There's a certain concentration with regards to tech as well. But even with the mining sector, you now start saying, okay, so how does this impact the mining sector? What does it mean for, as you said, the blue-collar mining worker?
Yeah.
Okay. What does it mean now for the person upstream who's now trying to maybe supply a mine?
Yeah.
Tenderpreneur.
Yeah.
Yeah. Service industries around mines. When mines are happening, there's traditionally a boom around the area of those mines and cities develop.
Yeah.
So you have all these conversations sector by sector, silo by silo, and you must work out that information from there. So I don't like this whole notion that certain conversation are just for the elite. The reason they're the elite is because they have information
exactly
that the others don't.
So that's what Kawalala Party would make sure.
Ujo, yes.
Okay.
As Kawala Party, we must tell you how we are stealing your money.
Yeah.
That is the point.
Thank you.
You must know.
So we are stealing money, but we just don't know how.
Yeah, now as Kawala Party, we were there to tell you, like, hey, this is how we are stealing your money. We are siphoning funds through A, B, C, D. But of course, the point of that was, it's satire, and that's why I approached it that way, to say that, look, as Kawala Party, we are here to steal your money, and we do it by setting up 1,000,001 fuel stations, because it's the easiest way to launder money.
Exactly.
Shout out Salama. So people must understand the impact of things like that, like what's going on. So we as Kawala Party are like, hey, we'll tell you what's going on. Don't be mad at me when you see me pop my trunk at Granddaddy's.
You know what I mean? When I buy 3,000 kwacha tickets for all my sides.
Yes, for the sides. Yes.
For the sides.
Yes, I love the way the sides are like, yes, can you, baby, buy me the ticket? So
straight out of Salama.
So I can, buy me the ticket so I can sing along to independent ladies.
You know what I mean?
Independent women. Miss Independent, yes.
Whatever it is.
The ticket so I can sing along to Miss Independent. Yeah, that's.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to end it here. I'm gonna have to end it here. I wish we could do this. We need a podcast.
Time flies.
We need a podcast.
I'm like, what? How?
But I always wrap it up with your unpopular opinion.
My unpopular opinion. I feel like that's been my entire career. I always say, and because I cannot even give, oh man. But I think I have a lot of friends because I have a lot of enemies, because I've pissed off everyone at least once in my life. So that's why, because I'm everybody's enemy, so I'm everybody's friend.
That's your unpopular opinion?
That's my unpopular opinion. Be everybody's enemy to be everybody's friend, but make sure you're an enemy because you are telling them the truth. A good friend stabs you in the front.
Not in the back.
Not in the back.
They will stab you.
Yes.
But in the front.
Yes, it's coming. But let me stab you in the front.
Nice one, buddy. Nice one.
Thank you, Chuba.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, buddy. That's it for Famous Fridays. Good evening.
Nights Out with Chuba.